They say peace comes when everything goes silent, when the phone stops ringing, when the arguments fade into memory, when you finally walk away from what once set your heart on fire. But silence isn't always peace. Sometimes it's just the echo of everything left unsaid. We learn to associate stillness with healing. We tell ourselves that distance means we're better now that absence is freedom, that detachment is strength. But sometimes it's just another way of hiding, because peace isn't the act of running from the noise, it's learning to hear it differently. It's the art of sitting with the storm until it no longer decides the weather inside you. We escape people, call it clarity. We avoid love and call it growth. We numb our hearts and call it maturity. But peace, true peace, isn't found in the absence of connection. It's found in the presence of understanding. There's a strange kind of comfort in emptiness. No one can hurt you when no one can reach you, but no one can love you there either. And so we build our walls higher, believing we've finally built peace, when in truth, we've just built isolation with better lighting. Maybe that's the illusion, the belief that peace is the opposite of love, that to protect our hearts, we must abandon them. But peace was never meant to be a cage. It was meant to be a garden, a place where love could breathe without choking on the chaos, where boundaries aren't walls, they're roots, and quiet isn't absence, it's depth. Sometimes peace begins not when you leave, but when you stop running. When you turn around and face the ache you tried so hard to outrun. When you realize the silence you chased was only waiting for you to listen. Peace isn't the space between loves, it's the soil beneath them, the stillness that allows the heart to grow again. And maybe it was never about escaping love to find peace, but finding peace so love can finally stay. Peace isn't the absence of love, it's the foundation of it. It's easy to talk about peace until you realize how loud your own heart can be. How storms don't always rage outside your window sometimes, they live inside your chest. We carry so much more than we admit. Old words we never healed from, moments we replay when no one's around, the quiet fear that maybe we're too much to love, or maybe not enough. Every wound teaches us something, but sometimes what it teaches us is the wrong lesson. We mistake protection for peace, distance for healing, control for safety, and without realizing it, we start building relationships from the walls we never took down. We say we want love, but when it finally reaches for us, we flinch. Because love requires presence, and presence means vulnerability, and vulnerability feels like danger when you've lived through pain. So we learn to hold love at arm's length, to smile while our hearts hide behind practiced calm, to say, I'm fine, when what we really mean is, I'm scared to need someone again. The turbulence within isn't just chaos, it's the collision of every version of us that never got to be understood. The child who wanted comfort, the lover who wanted safety, the adult who pretends they don't need either. We tell ourselves we've moved on, but sometimes the past doesn't move until we face it. Healing doesn't happen when life becomes quiet. It happens when we stop silencing what hurts, when we sit with the storm inside us and ask it what it's trying to say. Because peace isn't born from ignoring the turbulence. It's born from understanding it, from learning that the storm doesn't define you, it just reminds you of what still needs love. Maybe the heart was never broken, just waiting for someone brave enough to listen to the thunder within. They say peace comes when the noise ends, but maybe peace isn't silence at all. Maybe it's the sound of finally hearing yourself again. We spend years chasing calm in places that can't give it, in other people's eyes, in the spaces between heartbreaks, in the quiet that follows our running. But true peace, it's not out there, it's in here. It's the soft strength that grows when you stop trying to escape yourself. When you look at your reflection and no longer flinch at what you see, when you realize that your scars aren't warnings, they're reminders that you healed. Peace is not the end of the storm, it's the moment you can stand in it and still feel love. Because love, real love, doesn't arrive to save you, it arrives to meet you, and the version of you that peace builds knows how to meet it back. Peace is emotional maturity. It's knowing that not every silence means rejection, that not every distance means loss, that sometimes love doesn't disappear, it simply takes the form of understanding. We think awakening is a lightning strike, but sometimes it's a sunrise, slow, patient, gentle. Arriving in the quiet corners of your soul, you start to see that peace and love were never opposites. They were always meant to hold hands. Because when you find peace within yourself, you stop chasing what hurt you, and you start attracting what heals you. The awakening isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you were before the world told you to hide. Peace isn't a destination, it's the home you build inside your heart, so love can finally stay. They say love finds you when you least expect it, but maybe love doesn't find you. Maybe it returns once you've finally stopped running from yourself. Reflections shimmer on the wet pavement. They pass by old places that once hurt to see, and this time, they don't flinch. When peace roots itself inside you, love changes. It's no longer a storm you brace against, but a rhythm you move with. Sunlight filters through the leaves, soft beams breaking through the grayscale clouds. The world feels alive, even in shades of gray. Peace doesn't erase your scars. It just teaches you how to hold them gently, how to let love touch them without reopening the wound. They exchange a small smile, simple and warm, no words needed. Love built on peace doesn't need to prove itself. It doesn't rush. It doesn't beg. It just is. Two souls meeting, not to fill each other's emptiness, but to share their fullness. When you no longer need love to rescue you, you finally create the space for it to stay. The character once crying alone in the rain, then learning to breathe through silence, then standing still in a storm, then smiling finally beneath a sunrise. This is what peace does. It rebuilds the foundation. It softens the heart without breaking it open. It allows love to become something steady, not a fire that consumes, but a light that guides. Peace and love were never meant to live apart. One grounds you, the other grows from it. Together they make a home. The world no longer feels heavy, just quiet, alive, whole. And maybe peace isn't the end of the story. Maybe it's the beginning of love, the kind that finally lasts. There comes a moment after the storms, after the unraveling, after the quiet rebuilding of the heart, when life begins to feel different. Not dramatic, not explosive, just steady, a peace that no longer feels unfamiliar, a love that no longer feels dangerous. Living in harmony doesn't mean life is perfect. It doesn't mean the heart never aches again. It means you've learned to hold yourself gently through it. Where once you reacted from fear, you now respond from understanding. Where once you ran, hid, or clung, you now stay, breathe, and allow. Harmony is found in the smallest things, the slow mornings, the honest conversations, the I'm here moments that don't need to be spoken to be known. When peace becomes your home, love no longer feels like something to chase or prove. It becomes something you live. Love becomes less about intensity and more about consistency. It's the gentle touch on the shoulder, the laughter shared after a long day, the silence that feels safe instead of empty. It's the understanding that two souls are not here to complete one another, but to witness each other, to support, not fix, to encourage, not possess. Harmony is the space where love can breathe. It's where forgiveness isn't surrender, but a letting go of what no longer needs to anchor you. It's where vulnerability isn't a risk, but a bridge. It's where you learn that softness is not weakness, it's strength, refined. And the world begins to reflect that inner shift. Conversations feel lighter, connections feel more real. You find yourself drawn to things that nourish you, people who see you, moments that ground you. Harmony is a choice, not a destination, not a final chapter, but a daily commitment to return to yourself again and again, because peace is not an escape, it is a home, and love, real love, is what grows there. So breathe, softly, slowly, fully. You are no longer surviving your heart, you are living in it, and that is the beginning of a life where love can stay.